Well, let's just cross now to our Europe correspondent, Phil Williams, about what London is doing to mark the anniversary of the Doom voyage. In fact, I think it's more than just London, it's the whole of the UK. Phil, what is going on there?
Well, there are many events throughout the country, but particularly poignant in Southampton, where it left from and where so many of the seamen came from, where about 500 of those that died lived in that particular city. And also in the city it was built in Belfast, where they're opening a memorial garden with names of the 1,500 odd people that perished in that terrible tragedy. Yes, it's very much a personal issue for many Britons. A lot of people can trace their relatives that were either on the ship or had something to do with it, might have been involved in the construction of the ship or worked on the docks. It's not just a footnote in history for them, it's something that they can trace to their families and has a far more poignant significance.
Well, you speak of that, Phil. Obviously, Hollywood has glamorised the tragedy, if you like, but it has a very personal tone to it, of course, because so many people died, and we're hearing now from the relatives of both those who died and also the survivors.
Yes, we are, and because it's the 100th anniversary, a lot more of these people have come out of the woodwork with their personal histories, and so you've heard extraordinary tales of survival and coincidences, and then relationships that were cemented, unlikely relationships that were cemented, that people that wouldn't otherwise have ever met if it hadn't been for that for the tragedy. People that ended up in the same lifeboats, for example, and then shared a lifelong correspondence with one another. And of course it linked the two countries, the US and Britain as well, and many Americans also were struck down by that tragedy. So it's almost, it's like tracing your family back. Although it was a tragedy, it's also, because it's so well known in a historical context, and it's been, as you say, glamorised in the movies, people have gone to extraordinary lengths to establish those links. So people have been quite proud to dig up the records that tie their particular family to either those that have survived or those that died. And on the boat, the Balmoral, which is leading these memorials, of course, is very shortly going to be leading the memorials right above the wreck. Many people on that particular ship have direct ties to it, and those stories have been spilling out over the past couple of weeks.
And Phil, we've been talking about the fascination with the story of the Titanic. Has that been the case in the UK, particularly in the media?
Yes, it has. We've had many stories. It's been flooding the media, and people don't talk about overload. There seems to be an insatiable appetite for it. But of course, I guess a sense that after this event, that's it, really. No doubt there'll be more events, particularly around the wreck and what happens to the wreck in the future. But in terms of actually remembering those people that died, there won't be a memorial like it, I guess. There'll be 110, 120. But that word Titanic, which has so much force, it's become a part of the English language that personify disaster. That really will reach its peak, I think, on this day, and in fact in the next couple of hours.